See, the biggest lie agency owners and coaches believe is that more views actually equal to more calls booked. It's an absolute bullshit lie. I don't get 100,000 views. I don't even break the 1,000 views barrier. Yet I'm still booking 3 to 5 sales calls every single week consistently. This is not luck. It's not the algorithm. It's a throughput system. It's a system to actually help you get more calls booked. You are posting so many videos, going through so much shit, yet nothing actually amounts. It is because you're not actually focused on tracking the amount of calls booked per 100 views. That's the main KPI that I look for. Today I'm going to show you exactly this system. I'm going to show you exactly how I'm able to get consistent calls booked with less than 1,000 views on my reels, with less than 1,000 views on my YouTube channel, actually use low view, low engagement content to actually take it high leverage and actually close clients for my consulting company. This is the video I wish I had when I was starting out. So let's just get into it. The first thing you need to understand is the throughput model of business. You need to understand that your content and your entire pipeline for content is actually just a pipe, and all of your viewers are actually just pieces of liquid H2O inside the system. The longer your pipeline is, the more views you can get. The longer your pipe, the longer your throughput is. The longer this pipe is, the more views you're going to accumulate over your brand. The thicker or the thinner this pipe is, the more percentage of your viewers are going to convert into clients. If you are getting a lot of views, your pipeline, your throughput is probably extremely large, right? It's probably huge, but the width might be very, very big. My throughput, this is how usually people's throughput looks like, right? They have got a decent enough long pipeline, but their thickness is absolutely dog shit. So the percentage of views that they're able to convert into calls is extremely, extremely low because the throughput model just sucks. Mine looks like this. My throughput for my consulting business called Clients Forge looks like this. I have got a similar amount of length, so I get a similar amount of views, but the thickness is way less. My pipeline is thinner, and because of that, the percentage of views that actually convert into calls is extremely high compared to the people who get a lot of views but no calls booked. Because you need to understand this throughput model to actually be able to scale your business using content. Because if you're just going to be posting videos for absolutely no reason, if you just think that, okay, I just need to post views, get views, get like 10k views, and all of my problems are going to be fixed. If you believe that getting views is going to fix your problem, you are in a huge delusion, and I want you to come out of it, bro. Because that is a bullshit state to live in, right? Don't be in that delusion. You need to scale what works. If your throughput model is broken, it doesn't work, nobody is going to convert into calls. It's not going to work for you. You need to understand this very, very properly. Because most people believe their content looks like this. Okay, everybody knows what the convex lens does, right? Everybody knows, everybody's learned this in school. The convex lens converges light. It converges huge, broad amounts of light into a single point. This single point is the inflection point when your buyers are going to buy. That is when things click for them. My system looks like this. I have my entire infrastructure based on three problems. Three problems, one format, one product. Because of that, the people who watch my content hit this inflection point extremely fast. And because they hit this inflection point extremely fast, they convert into calls extremely fast. You probably have a system. Not probably, you have this system in which you believe every single input that you're putting in will actually lead to this inflection point, but most of the inputs you have is useless. It is fucking useless. Do you see why your system never works? This is exactly why some videos of yours get 1,000 views. Maybe you book like 3 calls in a month or 3 calls in a week, and then your shit fucking dies. Your shit fucking dies because you are scaling something that does not work. You're living in a state of delusion. All of the black lines here, these are not inputs. These are what you think are inputs. The red ones are the real inputs. So what you are trying to do is you're feeding a system. You're feeding this throughput model with more water, with more and more water. But guess what? The water is not going to increase in size over here. Why? Because you've got fucking leaks. You've got leaks in your own pipeline. These are leaks. These inputs are leaks. Because you need to understand this. Content is going to pay dividends over time. That means if you post a piece of content, it's not going to get you calls booked instantly. It's going to compound over time. Right? And if you're going to sell something, if your entire strategy is based upon inbound lead generation, if you're going to be posting content to just get views, you need to understand this, right? Your content has to compound, and the only time it's going to compound is when your throughput is actually tight. Your throughput doesn't have fucking leaks. Most people have leaks in their content. One of my clients, right? We hopped on an onboarding call. I mapped out an entire strategy for him. His entire worldview fucking changed. He told me on a call, like, he has never thought about content like this. Because most people are not going to think this deeply. They think in terms of, cause and effect. Like, yes, the universe works on cause and effect, but you need to understand content pays dividends over time. It's not an immediate thing. It's not like ads. It's not like if you put in money in ads and it scales, it's not instant. Right? On ads, if you like spend like a $500 every single day, you're gonna get a lot of views. That's not how content works. Right? That's not how content works. Most people's inputs are being put in the wrong system. Most people put in a lot of inputs, get barely any output, and then blame the algorithm, blame their niche, saying their niche is saturated, or blame saying that content does not work. All of that bullshit. I am the prime example of how it works. I am proving you actively wrong. I don't have a professional background. I don't have an Indian accent. I don't have like a professional British accent that I can speak in. Right? I don't have all of that. Yet I'm able to pull all of this off because systemizing your entire process is very, very important. You probably sit down to ideate. You sit down every single day or maybe once a week. You sit down to, think about video ideas. Then you sit down to script those video ideas. Then you record them. Then you edit them. Then you upload them. And then boom, 700 views on Instagram, 20 views on YouTube, 0 calls booked. Boom. You're stuck in this negative loop. We don't do that. Instead, what we're going to leverage are systems. I have N8N systems which basically help me come up with content ideas on the go. Imagine this, right? This exact video that you're watching right now. I have not thought about the idea. I have not scripted this idea as well. I'm just recording, I'm going to edit. That's all I do. I have a database of ideas being provided to me every single week. Think about that. Every single week, I have video ideas given to me, not by some fucking content agency that you have to pay like $10,000 a month to, make content with, by this simple system that takes 5 minutes to build. That's how easy it is. That's how easy your content system can actually be. Because most people's strategies have loops, they have leaks. Your efforts are being leaked because your systems are not in place. And this is the exact system that I use. Let's break this down right over here, right now. Top of the funnel. And this exact strategy is going to improve your throughput responses. Look at this. 5 calls booked. Look at these reels, bro. 500 views, 700 views, 800 views, 1000 views, 700 views. This reel was boosted. This reel was boosted. Even this reel was boosted. Right? Top of the funnel. Instagram, YouTube ads. You send your IG audience to YouTube. A lot of you watching right now must have come from my Instagram audience. A lot of you found me on YouTube. I'm going to send you to Instagram with my link in bio. So now I'm having 2 different touch points for you. Based on this data, I run ads targeted to you. Soon you're going to see my ads, by the way. You go to my IG profile or you go to my landing page. Boom. In my IG profile, I have a link in bio. Let me just show it to you right now. I go on my Instagram, right? On my Instagram, you can see every single person who comes to me on Instagram goes to my YouTube channel. Right? They immediately go to my YouTube channel. Right? So this just makes it easy for me to win. Then I can just subscribe to the main channel. Whatever. I can just subscribe. Boom. Now you're having viewers come into your system. Look at this. Look at this reel. Right? Let's just take a look at the stats of this exact reel that I've posted here. It's not even been 24 hours, by the way. It's been like 16, 17 hours. 1.6k views, 12 follows, one call booked. Think about that. Think about that. One reel I posted less than 24 hours ago already has booked a call for me. That's how efficient the system is. IG profile, landing page, redirecting your audience to custom solutions for them. DMs. Talk to your prospects in the DMs, not on calls. You don't sit down on the calls qualifying people. You close them, you understand where they are in the DMs. Cold prospects sent back to IG. We don't talk to them. We do not engage to them. You have to make them warmer. Warm audience. Landing page with a lead magnet. A setter gives them all of this stuff. Get their email, maybe on a low ticket offer, nurturing sequence. Boom. Hot leads, landing page, book a call. Boom. Have multiple different touch points for your leads. Have multiple different touch points. With this, you can prevent leaks into your business, because what you're doing is, right, let's say you have this as your throughput. And let's say this is all of your leads coming in, and you have like a huge amount of them just leaking out. Instead of trying to fix your system with plugs, right? Instead of trying to do that, you just collect these leads, right? Collect these leads, bring them back to the same pipeline. Because guess what happens? Let's say there is a canyon. Okay, I'm going to give you this example. Let's say there is a canyon, and you've got 1 million wildebeests, zebras, herbivores going to cross this canyon. This canyon has a capacity for 10,000 only. You've got 1 million of them passing through. Guess how many are going to die? A lot of them. Right? A lot of them are going to die. So what's going to happen is that you're going to have casualties. You're going to have animals which are going to die. These are your leads. They're dying. Not literally, but they're dying. Right? They die. Now, what most people are going to do is they're going to be like, okay, well then, let me just expand this canyon. Alright, let me just expand this canyon. I'll give another example about this. Now they think that, okay, since I've expanded the canyon, there are going to be less deaths. No. Because now you've got 2 million people coming through this pipeline. Think about this. Why do politicians, right? For example, let's say there are broken roads. Or for example, there are roads. There's a lot of traffic on these roads. Why do politicians think of expanding the roads? They believe that, okay, I'm going to expand the road, there's going to be less traffic. No, there's not going to be less traffic. There's going to be more traffic because the roads are expanded. This is very simple. It's called the prisoner's dilemma, right? If I give you an example, right? There's an example in game theory. Let's say there are two prisoners right over here. If both of them, if both of them actually confess to their crimes, okay, both of them confess to their crimes, what's going to happen? If both of them confess, they get 10 years in prison. If none of them confess, they get 0 years in prison. But if one of them confesses and the other doesn't, this guy has to now serve 10 years in prison, and this guy roams free. So let's just say both of them confess, they get 5 years in prison. Okay. Now logically speaking, the best case scenario is going to be where they don't confess, they get 0 years in prison, they're roaming free. This is the best case scenario. But what do you think is going to happen? If you're that prisoner, we both are those prisoners, right? If I'm in that position and you tell me, okay, if the other person is going to confess, you don't confess, you're going to get 10 years in prison. So naturally, I'm going to be inclined to confess. You will face the same scenario. You will come to the same conclusion. Guess what happens? We both serve 5 years in prison. We could have served 0 years in prison if none of us confessed, but because of our mind telling us that, okay, what if the other person confesses? We confess, we got to an undesired outcome. Your brain is going to tell you this. Fixing this leak by trying to plug it with like, okay, I need to have better scripts, I need to have better this. No. You redirect all of that. So instead of trying to expand the canyon, you do not expand the canyon. Instead, you have multiple paths to actually get to the end of the canyon. You capture your leads at every different stage. Because the moment you do that, that is when you're creating real leverage. That is where your systems are actually compounding your content to actually get you leads. That is why a system compounds and not actually causes everything to fail. You need to fix your leaks in your throughput system. If you're an agency or coach who's doing over $3,000 a month, you want my personal help to scale using content and actually, get calls booked for your offer, you can book a call with me or you can enter into my funnel by clicking the Instagram link and subscribing to me. Anyways, don't sacrifice your future self for the pleasure today. Peace.